Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 7 of this Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4. This is the Anti-Colonialist Crusade as South Africa. Now, you will notice that Mozambique has once again disappeared. That is because we've gone back in time. This was completely unintentional, but I seem to have lost the last save, and I don't really know why. I did have a save game for the 22nd of April, not entirely sure why, because that was not the previous episode. Did I crash, or did I have to tab out or something? I don't remember. But I don't seem to have the latest save for whatever reason. And having been streaming for several hours yesterday in the UK game, I don't have any autosaves either. So this is where we're going to have to go. But it's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you'll remember, we have the choice of what to do with Mozambique when they want their independence. We can either deny it, in which case it stays South Africa, which I probably won't do because that's kind of against the theme of this game. I can make them a puppet, which is probably what I will do, because that means I can pull them into the war and things and actually use them. Or I can give them their freedom, in which case they can join the faction, but they're not necessarily guaranteed to join the war, which in fact happened with Mozambique. They were just like, no, I'm not going to join you. Thanks for the freedom, but no, we're not going to. Nope, bye. So I am going to puppet them this time, and we're going to do it that way. Also, I have since realised that the way that puppets work has changed. Previously, puppets would build their own armies. You feed them Lend-Lease materials. They build armies based on those Lend-Leases. And then you basically request forces and you take control of them that way. That still exists. You can still do that. In fact, it's not a bad way of doing it, because if you go in here into the managing subject stuff, you will see Overlord, Lend-Leasing to subjects minus 39.43. That means they are losing autonomy because I am sending them Lend-Lease. However, you can also directly recruit their troops, and this is new. So if you go into the recruit and deploy thing, because this is not clear, like, where is it? Well, there's this little button here. Click to view templates of subjects. You can click on it, and then you can see everyone who is a subject plus your own. So we're going to click on the democratic thingy of thingamajiggy, Angola. And now we are presented with all of these different templates, and we can view them to have a look. So this is artillery and engineering and 6 infantry. And this one is just 2 infantry. That one sucks. This one is 4 cavalry, also pretty dreadful. This one is 7 infantry, artillery, and support. It's not bad. Including AT. Okay, bit better. Then we have a couple of motorized, 6 motorized, 6 motorized, and AT. Now, we ourselves don't produce any artillery. And if we recruit troops from here, they will primarily be of the manpower of the subject, but also with a bit of your own. So if you remember, we go into the manage subjects thing, and we go hover over this, and you can see... Where is it? Subject manpower requirement plus 90%. That means that 90% of those divisions that we raise from the subject, those regiments that we raise from the subject, will be 90% of their manpower and 10% of ours. If this was a colony, then it's 70% and 30%. If it was a dominion, then it's 50-50. I believe that's how it works. So the less autonomy that those countries have, the more of their manpower you can use. However, I think, their autonomy will also increase, because you will notice subjects contributed war score. You get war score from every battle that you're involved in. So if you have a lot of their manpower involved in battles, then they gain additional war score. So if you have very large armies of puppet troops, you do run the very serious risk of them increasing in autonomy, which is not necessarily a bad thing so long as they're kind of the lower tier. But once they start getting freedom, then they might want to leave the war, in which case you lose that country's resources. Additionally, you also get more trade. Extra trade to Overlord doubled. That is huge. I still don't know what the trade bonus does, but the extra trade to Overlord being doubled is redonkulous. Basically, where can I see that? In here, of course. Does Angola actually have any resources, first of all? That's not the right map mode. Angola has no resources, so we can't really see it. But you will remember, if you trade with, say, the Soviet Union, 1 factory equals 10 resources. Well, for a puppet, 1 factory is 80 resources. Yes, 80 for 1 factory. So you can get really cheap goods, but of course that does also come at an autonomy price, and a pretty hefty one. So keeping the puppets with low autonomy is pretty difficult. Once they hit like Dominion, then they get less autonomy bonuses for the stuff you're taking from them. So they'll probably start as a puppet and then rise in autonomy until they hit colony dominion type status. And they'll probably stay relatively stable there, depending, of course, on just how much you exploit them. So Angola, can I see anywhere what your total population is? I know I can see on a per province basis. So you have 3.4. Oh, okay, so that's just the whole thing. It's 3.4 million. Yeah, because it's for this whole territory. Yeah, looks that way. 3.77, 6.3, 1.8, 4.2, 249,000. So yeah, we can see the various populations here. So South Africa actually has a relatively low population. Angola has a pretty high population. So we definitely want to start using some of their manpower. Now, once you have started recruiting troops from your puppets, go back into the Angola system. The equipment that they're using here is actually drawn from your stockpile, not theirs. So you don't need to lend lease to get that gear. But that also means that you need to actually be producing these items. So for example, we don't produce any anti-tank guns, which means that this template is going to be kind of sucky. So we are probably going to want that one or this one because it has slightly more manpower. So we'll probably go with the infantry type 1. We don't have AT, so we're not going to get the infantry type 2. So now if we go copy, that is now in our list, and you can see it's differentiated there because it's got their flag. Now we can edit it, and we can change it however we want, and we can build the templates depending on our own requirements. For the time being, though, this does not look too bad. It's using artillery. Do we have a surplus? Oh, yes, we have a pretty decent surplus of artillery. We have a deficit in infantry equipment, though. But I think that we can and should start producing some Mongolian troops. So we're going to go into here. You know what? We're going to rename it. Angolan Infantry. Rename. And then we are going to train. We'll add 3 at a time. And again, it's going to be using our resources for this. Why can't I unpause? Hello. Okay, we're at that problem with my keyboard not working. Let me just restart the game and I'll be back in a second. Didn't even need to restart the game, just needed to Alt-Tab and then come back in again. So, space, there we go, now that's working. Let's take a look at how these are working. Oh, it does require their equipment. No, that's manpower. So you can see Cape Commune, manpower 760, Democratic People's Republic of Angola, manpower 6,387 of 6,840. Requires infantry equipment, which we are not producing or providing because we don't have any, but at least the manpower can start arriving. That also means that we should probably try and bump up the amount of infantry equipment we're getting. So I'm going to rejig those very slightly in order to do that. Right, now we are at war with the Allies. That is basically the last thing to have happened, and we need you guys to be preparing for an attack with that in mind. So I think the first objective is basically just going to be to take this, and we're going to launch that assault not from there, that's just silly. So actually you could take that and then come across, but I think we just need to basically just go up. So let's edit you. We're going to say the start point, not for you, start point for you. No, that's the end point. Start point. Nope. There, that'll do. The start point is here, and we're just going to go straight up. We'll have the two armies. So you can be assigned to that. You guys are assigned to that. You two are assigned to... Why can't I assign you? Don't know. For Pete's sake. Alright. All of you are assigned... Screw this. Delete that. Delete that. New objective. Take that. And screw it. We will add... that to the objective. Right. Then we want all of you. I assigned. Why can't I assign you all? There we go. Now I can. Weird. Alright, then we have you who are currently in training. You don't need to be training anymore. You can join them. And in fact be assigned to that attack. Then you guys are on garrison duty. Now the question is, do I really want you garrisoning? The answer is probably no. We need you to actually do something a bit more aggressive. We're going to draw a line across all of that, and we're going to say we want everything up to this river. And go. Just take it. Aggressively. In fact, screw it. Just take it. Just go. And there we go. That's how we do that. Right, marvellous. Speed 4, still good. Okay, we can modify the government. I don't remember what we took before. Political advisor? Probably not. No, ship designer, I doubt it. Another combat guy, maybe for armor, though we don't have any armor yet. I really don't remember. Or was it... it might have been conscription rule? Yeah, it was. It was conscription law. So we're currently on limited. We can go to extensive. We don't want to get... Hang on. Right, we need to try and get these two still. So we don't need to worry so much about recruitment laws, because again, we're going to be using Angolans where we can. Oh, the other thing is I can build factories in Angola. That is something else I must check on. I think we will get the ship designer just so we get the naval research speed bonus, especially now that we're not technology sharing. We're going to be really behind many of the other powers. And we are now at war with the Allies, and this is kind of a bad thing. In fact, thinking about it being a bad thing. Oh, right. I sent you to the wrong place. You are meant to be on there. Right, just double time over there. You're not double timing. Double time to there. That's... What is going on here? You, B, here. B is not doing the right thing. B. See, this looks like edit mode. Oh, now you are. Okay, never mind. You are now double timing. Right. I think I'm going to get you two separate army, and I'm just going to leave you on garrison duty. And your job is going to be to hold the coast. As best you can. Good luck with that. Right, now you're on defensive duties. You guys are on the attack. You are preparing an attack. And they're calling more and more people into the war against us, but that's fine. Is that a province? That is a province. Oh, right, I remember this problem. We haven't actually called Angola in yet. Which is why it was being a bit balky, and that's why I had this save. It's because I was trying to work out why I couldn't move out of Angola. The reason that we can't move out of Angola is because they haven't actually joined the war yet. So we're at war with all these people, we need to call them in. Boom. Angola's in. And they were already called into the war against Portugal. Now we can move through their territory. There we go. Okay. You guys are repositioning for whatever reason. Fine. Okay, good. Denmark's joined the Allies. Here we go. Freedom from Mozambique. They must be carefully guided. We'll make them into a puppet. And then we can basically control their forces and resources. The other thing we can do is build factories in their territory. And that also reduces their autonomy. So there are ways of increasing it, there are ways of reducing it. And in fact, we're already doing that with Angola. I think we should do much the same with Mozambique. Marvellous. The UK is attacking us over there. Soviets have sent us a division. Thank you, Soviet Union. The UK keeps on calling in more and more allies in the war against us. You're pushing up there. Why are you not... Just take the big bit. Please. Okay. Because we want to try and make sure that we have a solid line as possible. And in fact, what we're going to do with your line is we're going to say, once you've taken that, we want a second line, which is going to connect this. Once you've taken that. Marvelous. Alright. So we should be ramping up our production. We have lots of units still in progress. We could do with getting some more units to those guys. You know what? We're going to cancel that unit and we're going to spend their equipment on these guys to get them actually training. Because we're going to use their manpower rather than our own. And then we can use our own for air forces and stuff like that. Cool. So, everything is pretty static. We're just moving up with these guys. You're pushing up there, which is fine. You're no longer the defensive army. We're going to make you green. We're going to make you brown because you are the defensive army. Garrison. We're going to make you the central army. And that makes you west. It's really the Western Army, that's our good ones. The Dutch are called in Dutch East Indies, and we have got the Tier 3 mortar. We have also got delaying tactics, which is fine. We are working on Bren carriers because we don't want to motorize as much as possible if we can. We can't research any more of those. Industry, it is 1940, so we can't work on those. We could get some more excavation, which is not a bad idea. We could also get decryption. I'm not going to start working on Air Force yet. We could start researching cruisers. Now, do we want cruisers or do we want destroyers? I don't think we have the infrastructure for battleships. So I think if we get any capital ships, there'll be battle cruisers. And then I guess the main combat ships that we'll have would be Hawkins class, 42,000 versus 3,100. Sorry, 4,200 versus 3,100. They are slightly more expensive in terms of steel, which we do have to import. They also have more than double the manpower requirement, but the production cost is relatively low. And then if we compare that to destroyers even, so we should really do these in order of size. So here we can get a comparison. You can shift and left click to get these comparisons up. So destroyers and light cruisers are the same price. Production wise, one light cruiser is worth 3 destroyers effectively, and almost in manpower. They are much better at sub-detection. Basically, sub-detection, anti-air, anti-convoy, surface type thing. They are generally better at fighting, so heavy cruisers kill light cruisers, kill destroyers. Well, heavy cruisers kill light cruisers, kill aircraft, and destroyers kill submarines. Max range, theirs is really short. I don't think range is going to be so much of a problem because we're only going to be on the coast of Africa. Fire range, they're better. I'm actually kind of leaning towards light cruisers right now, because they are significantly better than destroyers. They cost the same in terms of resources. They are more expensive industrially. That's the downside. We're not ready for a navy yet. We're just not ready. We can't afford it. Silly to even try. Right, you need to move up to here. What's that? That's German. A German part of Kenya, apparently. Where are the Russians? The Russians are... I don't know. Oh, that's an Angolan unit. We're going to go and pinch him. So then we can also go request forces and take any units that they're actually building, which we're going to steal. So that's one Angolan unit. You are going to assign to that. He's green, he hasn't been trained, he's got very little equipment. He's really not going to be very strong. Can we see what your template is? We can. Okay, you are basically the same template as what we are using right now. You just don't have the gear to back it up. Probably because we're not sending you enough. Alright, we need a lot more infantry equipment. Rhodesia is basically ours. Let's get some more production going on. Over there, we're basically going to be taking land and then increasing production as we go. We have launched an attack here. I think I'm going to launch an attack with you. Actually, we're going to make you support. No, shift. It's not quite what I meant. You can hit there. You guys are still wrapping around. That's fine. You're not going to take that. We'll take this position though, without too much problem. Oh, they are really massing on this border. Look at the number of Brits coming in. Okay, this was probably a terrible idea to go to war with the Allies this early. Oh well. Well, we would have been pulled into the war otherwise, so we didn't really have a choice. We kind of had to do it. Alright, you two are going to attack there. You are going to support. Oi, you. Support. Where would you move to? Oh, I see, that's another... No, you stay there. You guys together should be able to take that. And you are also attacking. Good. You're just holding position. Now you can go and support too. Improved equipment too. Excellent. That's going to help. The fall of Hong Kong. Troops from the Empire of Japan have captured the British Crown colony of Hong Kong after breaking through the gin drinkers' line and landing on Hong Kong Island itself. The situation soon came untenable for the defenders, and the governor surrendered in person at the Peninsula Hong Kong Hotel, where the Japanese had established their headquarters. After a brief ceremony, the new Japanese governor was installed and announced a new Hong Kong to the world, free of Western colonialism. I agree with that goal. Well, colonialism full stop. I don't know about Western colonialism. I don't think we need to do any more of those support agencies. It is 1940, so we could get the better artillery. We are relying relatively heavily on artillery, so I think we're going to get that. We're also going to increase the amount of infantry equipment that we are getting. We're also going to have to buy some more in. More steel. America. Okay. And we do have a research slot, apparently. Right, that's because we were working on this. We're going to get elastic defense now, which means our tanks are better. Oh, if only we had some. Oh, bloody hell, guys. Fight Italy, not me. Okay, something tells me that this war is going to be really, really slow. You're going to have to move up here, because we have nothing on this coast. Are you guys going to be able to push in here? Yes, you are. Well, at least the Allied troops here are pretty weak. And we're fortifying pretty nicely in Angola. Okay, we have the Cape Garrison artillery. So we can start reconstituting the Cape Corps. Recruitable population increases by 15%, which would be very nice. You, I don't think, are going to succeed in that assault, because you're going across a river. Okay, now you're supporting. If you go there, once you arrive, Hungary's joined the Axis, okay. Then you can potentially go and assist. Second Vienna Award. Alright, so you assist, you assist. That should make that go a little bit easier. We're forcing them to spread out more, which is good. It's a very, very thin line though. Very thin line. Angola, you have another soldier for me. That's Portugal. Request forces, send. You are going to be assigned to that line. Okay, we're winning that fight. Good. You can reduce your line to just that. Although no, that's not right. You will need to worry about that bit. Treaty of Craiova. More concessions have been forced onto legionary Romania, with Bulgaria reclaiming southern Dobruja. The territory was annexed by Romania in 1913 after the Second Balkan War and is still mostly populated by ethnic Bulgarians and Turks. Regardless of the reasoning, legionary Romania now stands significantly weakened. Okie dokie. I can't believe how many troops they're sending against us. Hopefully they have really bad supply issues. This Angolan force, you're just going to wrap up the right-hand side. In fact, I'm very tempted to just get rid of that. You guys join his army. Now we have 13 of you. Can I expand your front line along here? Simple answer is no. Oh, yes, I can. Germany must have landed over there. And then I want the units over here on the right-hand side to form a new offensive, which is going to constitute that. And then the guys in the center, that'll be you three, are going to take this. So that's you three, you lot, in fact I'm just going to do assign, and then I think they get automatically assigned. You've got 5, you've got 3, you've got 0. I want the 2 Angolans on the right because I don't think there's much support over on the right hand side. So that will do. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, cool. And then if and when I get more troops, which is right now in fact, because I did not set a spawn location, we'll have you appear up here. Then we get some more troops. Excellent. They could do with a bit of training, but you're going to have to learn on the job. Let's assign you to there and continue pushing. Okay, good. We're making their line spread a bit more thinly as well. They are low in organization throughout, so they are clearly having some supply issues, especially over here. So if I could do an attack here with you in support. We're probing them. We won't necessarily push them back, but we're probing. I'm going to stop training you guys completely and just rely on the Angolans, because I am concerned about my manpower numbers. And we'll let these guys get built. We are still short 700. We have too much artillery. That's just because we've been supplying it for a while. Alright. Oh, we have a tech. Crap. What was that for? I'm not sure. We weren't going to bother with any of that stuff yet. We have the artillery already going. We're not quite ready for the Valentine because it's a 41 technology. We could get some of these, like more recon, and just basically massively improve our support gear. Or we could get some more resource efficiency. I think we should do that because we don't want to be spending resources on importing. Speaking of imports, we are importing too much tungsten. We are importing too much steel. No, we're not. That'll do. Yeah, we're producing our own tungsten now, which is nice. Okay, cool. So we are pushing. Oh, Britain's pushing back against the Soviets, but we should have sufficient forces to reinforce you, I hope. Yeah, we are low manpower, thank you very much. We have a couple of planes in reserve. Alright. I'm going to let you guys get into position and then we're going to start the attack, because apparently we have overwhelming chance of success. But I want to get everyone into position and get the planning bonuses and stuff up. Because right now we do definitely have a defensive bonus over there because we are dug in. It's just these African areas are so frigging big. It takes a long time to get around anywhere. And I think the longer we're waiting, the less supply that these guys are getting. Yep, pretty much. Look at that organization. It's atrocious. Better artillery. Another 10% soft attack. Can't really argue with that. Still in 40. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get decryption so we can get a good count on where enemy stuff is. And how is the construction going? It's going pretty well. We still haven't conquered any other locations for building. This area is actually fairly productive now, which is nice. Are we ready for you to start an assault? I would say go ahead, begin. Oh, now you're saying that we have no chance of success. Well, that was good. And now the Portuguese have joined the enemies, and we're going to have to stop at that point. So thank you very much for watching. If you are enjoying this series, then please do hit that like button. If you have not done so already, then please do consider subscribing as well. If you have any tips or advice for me, let me know in the comments. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.